Hi, this is Thomas Feng with Bay Area Connect. Today we're here again with Joe Lima of Princeton Capital. Man, it's been a while since our last video update, probably about 2 weeks in this past time. I've been working on redesigning my blog, bayareaconnect.com, so look out for that in about 2 weeks' time. Today, to start it off, why don't we have Joe give us a loan update. How's the market?
Thanks, Thomas. Well, with the current stock market volatility, and a lot of people are taking their money out and looking for a safer investment with bonds and mortgage-backed securities, which has created a higher demand. It's created a lower interest rate market for you. So right now we're looking at a conventional conforming loan amount of 417 or below. You're at a 30-year fixed of 4.5% with 0 points. You can get down to a 4.25 with 1 point, which is outstanding. Anything above 4,729 to 729 loan amount, which is an agency jumbo loan, you're looking at a 4.75% rate with 0 points on that as well. Anything above a 729, you're looking at a 5.5% with 0 points. So that being said, these are the best interest rates that we've had pretty much ever in the past, over the past 50 years. So if you're looking to buy right now, now's the time to lock in and get something going as far as interest rates are concerned, because it's going to save you some money and have some more buying power because of the low interest rates.
All right, thanks a lot, Joe. Well, today we're talking about the extension of the home buyer tax credit. And before we get all of you guys confused, no, there is no new tax credit out. What we're talking about is how the deadline for closing has been extended from June 30th to now September 30th. This got signed into effect by President Obama. It's part of the Home Buyer Assistance and Improvement Act. So what this does, one of the points that we're talking about today in this program is the extension of the deadline from June 30th to September 30th. The IRS also wants to remind you that in order to get your tax credit, when you do file your tax returns, to include a copy of the residential buying contract. And make sure to include the names of all parties, signatures, address, purchase price, and the date of contract. Also make sure to get Form 5405 from the IRS, and this is the first-time home buyer and repayment of credit form. For all these resources, check out irs.gov or talk to your certified personal accountant. So today we're talking about this whole extension, and pretty much the reason for an extension is a lot of the home buyers, they're not able to close by June 30th. So today we're talking about probably the top 5 or 6 points, what you should be preparing for and how to get your contract closed by the deadline. So from the buying standpoint, the first biggest thing that you should be looking out for is inspections. Definitely in the Bay Area, a lot of sellers do get inspections beforehand. So if this is the case, make sure your realtor looks these over with you. You want to find out about all potential threats. These include termites, lead, and also defects to your property. I mean, if you find out all of these beforehand, it'll make closing a lot easier. This is if the seller, they did do inspections. If they didn't, make sure to get those done ASAP. Those should be the first thing on your list, and right after you get them done, make sure to look them over with your loan agent, get repairs if necessary, and get everything cleaned up so that we can move on to the loan process. So Joe, for the loan process, what are the top holdups for most buyers?
Well, looking at the new lender guidelines that have been getting more strict and strict over the time, financing is going to obviously come into play, because once the inspections are done and the contract is made, the only thing remaining is going to be the financing. So there are a couple things that can hold up financing. One would be getting the overall, just having the buyer get approved. So that goes to the importance of getting that pre-approval, working with a loan agent that is going to be able to get you approved before you actually go put the offer in. Because if, like we spoke about in other videos, if you get that pre-approval done, it's going to create a smooth process throughout closing.
Right.
You won't have to worry about the borrower's credit or if they make enough income, because that's already been done. So that's the number one thing that's happening right now with the financing, and then the buyer would have to switch lenders and try and get it to work out with someone else, and this takes weeks and weeks at a time. Mm-hmm. So that's one of the major reasons for the extension. Another one stemming from financing would be related to the new RESPA laws that went into play at the beginning of 2010. The government stepped in and put some set disclosures that need to be done and put in some proper procedures for those. One of those is the good faith estimate. It has to be within a certain amount of 10% variance in most cases, but has to pretty much match your good faith estimate. Has to pretty much match your final settlement HUD closing statement at escrow. So if there is major differences in that, it could cause a delay with funding and your overall closing of your loan. So in some cases, it may cause a buyer to switch lenders and have to go to someone else. So in that case, it's very important to have a seasoned professional that has worked with this new RESPA guidelines and has a proper GFE done at the beginning, so you don't get to closing and get stuck.
Right.
Other issues that will come into play, and they're kind of sort of related to the financing part of it, would be insurance. You could have a property that is just insurable. This could happen if it's, for example, if you had a seller that had put a large claim on the property, it's going to cause a red flag for any other people trying to get insurance on that property. Or if you have a property that's unique and it's in a fire, heavily wooded area that could have fires, there's something that could definitely cause the property to be insurable. So those are some issues that could come up there. Also, another issue would be with the appraisal. This would happen, once you find a lender, you have a certified appraiser go out to the property to find the value to see if it matches up with the purchase contract. And if it comes in lower, it could definitely hold up your financing. Because especially if someone's coming in with a 3.5% down payment or a low down payment, having the property come in $10,000 less than what the purchase price is could throw everything off. So the appraisal could definitely be something that could affect it.
Right. Well, thanks a lot, Joe. Today we talked about, 5 different things that you should be looking out for that could extend your whole closing time. And we're trying to get this all done by September 30th, the new deadline. So the ones we've went over today are prior to the offer, make sure to get all inspections done. After you actually write the offer, you want to be pre-approved already, like Joe said. You want to be working with a reputable loan agent who has worked with the new GFE and closing statements. Also, once all these things are taken care of, things that could also extend the whole closing time would be difficulty of insurance and also the appraisal. When talking about the appraisal, make sure to always work with your loan guy and make sure you don't release your financing contingency until you get the appraisal done. All 3 of the first points, the insurance, the inspections, the loan approval, and the GFE can pretty much all be taken care of prior to writing an offer. So if you were to take care of these 3 things, it would probably cut down your closing time of at least half. Not just time, but just hassles and headaches. The next 2 would be making sure the property is insurable and to make sure that the appraisal is done. So for those of you looking to close by September 30th, we wish you all good luck. And for those buyers who may have missed out on the whole tax credit, now's still a great time to buy with the low prices and definitely with the low interest rate that Joe has been talking about. So if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them under the video or to shoot us an email at thomas.feng@bayareaconnect.com. Well, that's all we have for you guys this week, and we look forward to seeing you guys next week.